didn't do that.
You go, what? So automatically she's trying to call me out. This is Michelle Mojica, Mojica Associates, a broker here. I told her, why'd you open up a real estate brokerage? She says, because she got bored being a realtor and she wanted to herd cats. And that's like herding agents. And that's basically how I did. But then she tells me, well, you go live. I thought you don't go live, but I'm in a private group. Oh. So it doesn't spam me.
Private group.
Yeah. So this is the coaching company's professional marketing specialist with us. So I wanted to bring Michelle on to you guys because just so you know, you guys thought that I said it how it was. She's going to tell you how it is in her perspective, in her world, and kind of things that, you know, can help motivate you guys to do daily. So why don't you just tell them a little bit about your background, what you do, what you like to do?
Okay, so if you want to go way back.
Let's go way back.
My first career was, I was in timeshare for 14 years. And from the age of 16 all the way to 30, I did timeshares. So you got to have a thick skin. It's a very male-dominated industry. And by the time I think I was turning 30, I wanted something different. I wanted more freedom in my life. I wanted to travel. And for those that know me, know that I travel all the time. And I got into real estate in 2008, 2009, when everybody else was leaving, when the market was crashing. And I would say that was like the best time because everybody left. And we can do cash deals within 10 days and get paid a lot faster. And what ended up happening is I took this PSI class. And for those that's done like PSI or Landmark, some of the agents are doing Live For You. It's like a 3 days meditating and whatever else. And I had been doing real estate for a couple years full time. And they gave you a 30-day goal. And my 30-day goal was to open a brokerage in North Scottsdale. And I did it in 3 weeks. That's how it all happened. Off of a 3-day conference. And it's really, the difference is taking something that you have learned and you say you're going to do something and actually doing it, which is probably, you know, what you're learning now is either people want to sign up, they want all these success, but then at the end of the day, they don't want to watch the videos. I'm guilty. I mean, I've probably only seen like one or two, but
honesty is the best policy.
Yes. But at the end of the day, it's like taking something that you've learned and really implementing it. So, I mean, if we go back, we're going into 7th year of our business now. I don't do recruiting. All I do is some things that I love, which is travel, Facebook live videos
right.
that John hates. I don't care if there's only like 500 people that sees it. Sometimes it goes up to about 1,000.
But hold on a minute though, because I want to stop you there. Yeah. But the thing with live and how you nailed it on the head is consistency.
Yes.
So you've never diverted from the plan. Like when you started doing it, you always did it. When you wanted to post things you always did it. It wasn't like, and I think the thing in our industry is people keep going to all these classes, right? Mm-hmm. And then they say, oh, do this. And then they go to another class. But then this class said this.
Yes.
And then this class, but then this said this. And what you just were like, basically like, I don't really give a shit what you got to tell me. I'm going to do me, and that's what I'm going to build.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing because I'm doing this event this weekend for someone that I really, really admire. And one of the things that he said is you will never, ever be the best copycat in the world. And that's what the real estate industry teaches us, to copy what John does, copy what Michelle does, all these successful people. And I wasn't in alignment. If you're not in alignment with the things that they're doing and how to get business, and I came from an industry where it was really, really transactional, timeshare was percentages. Like I could look at you and be like, oh, you're part of my 20% closing ratio. You're probably going to buy.
Right.
And I felt like a lot of the speakers that were up there, it's all about numbers, in which I get it. Real estate's about numbers. But what I found was I wasn't in alignment with all those things that they were, the whole me, because that's kind of like where I came from. And I didn't want to go back to that.
Right.
That business left me feeling empty and unfulfilled. So I wanted to do something that I could be happy waking up to and really living out that dream. And I wanted to have freedom in my business. So what I did is like, okay, let me focus on me, what it is that I want. And that's to travel and have an awesome life. And I feel like I have that.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can be part of the crew right here. So I'm not getting blurred by the vision too. But so let's take it back. I've done some coaching at your office and we have a lot of your team members that are in here. They love it. They're having the success.
Yes.
And what I love about when I do stuff there is like you're very like to the point about how you feel about stuff. Like where you're talking about the market where people keep going to these classes, they want to reinvent the wheel, they're trying to basically mimic everybody. So you basically broke the mold. You literally, instead of just getting in the real estate, you opened up your own brokerage right away. And you had no fear, no business plan. You don't recruit because
I don't.
well, people like you for you. I mean, they're, and I think I think to nail that on the head with what, I coach on is, don't spend thousands of dollars on leads. You grow your stuff organically. Like you're getting people that actually want to work with you, and you're not ever worried about losing them because they came to you. You didn't go to them.
Exactly. I mean, I haven't done like Zillow leads, Facebook ads, probably for the past 3 years now. Most of my clients, I meet them from posting stuff. I'm very consistent with posting on social media.
Yes.
And most of my stuff is about travel, but they can see what I post in regards to traveling and realize I am a broker. I mean, when I'm in Europe, one time I had a call, I was in Europe, it was like a $700,000 deal. Client was like, I can't hear what you're saying. I know you're out of the country. I trust you. This is what I want. Send it to me in the text. And I mean, I closed the deal, $21,000 commission while being out of the country.
So, but so my thing is like my approach, I feel like we're kind of on the same level of that, is that if you bring your vulnerability, kind of who you are, you share your passion with traveling, but you love your family always goes with you. I remember I was going to New York and ran into you at the airport, and you were heading to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where, I mean, I think if you tell your story, you're going to attract the people that want to work with you, and you're very charismatic. You're very bubbly and lively, and you've embraced kind of the live video, even if it's live video, but video in general. So everybody in the group, they struggle with it. I mean, Angela, she posted today, first one, she was like at a 10 of scariness. And then she posted a second one, already has a deal from it.
Mm-hmm.
So what were your thoughts? And like, if somebody was here listening and they're saying like, how did you overcome like fear of rejection, video? Like what made you just be like, I don't really care. I'm just going to do it.
So I first started Facebook when, just for business purposes, really. There was no other reason, because I didn't really necessarily want to share my whole life on there, which most people do. And when people did like MySpace, and I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Why would you want to put all your laundry out there? But I did create it solely initially just for business.
Right.
And I hate listening to myself. I would have like professional videos done. I'm part of these mastermind groups where they do these videos all together, and I won't listen to them. I won't watch them because I hated how I sounded. But I was on the radio. I was on the radio we have one of our agents that's on the radio, and I heard myself for the first time, and it was actually pretty good. But that also comes with confidence, right? It comes with confidence. I think once you stop telling yourself you suck, you sound like this, you sound like that, and you start really embracing yourself for who you are, because now I have a true clarity of who I am, what I want, and how I want my life to look like. I think confidence just, it just starts to build up. And it's not that cockiness to where I'm better than you, but it's more of, this is what I stand for. And that's the biggest thing, is if you go, and I'm guilty, I went from this marketing, that marketing, bought into this $4,000 program. I had 3 coaches. I had 3 real estate coaches at one time.
And you never did anything with it.
No. And I was such a waste of money, but I did learn from it. But no one ever tells you, like, what is it about you, and what is that message that you can share with the world, and that truly who you are.
Right.
And
coaching systems the same thing. They give you a cheerleading event, you hang it up, and you have no idea how to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Let alone like it's just crazy, how the implementation. But it's funny. What I really love, and if you guys really listen to how she said video, obviously consistency, but she had to get over the fear of, listening. How do I sound? How do I look? But at the same moment, where she brought up the cockiness. So maybe somebody one day told her, hey, you're kind of cocky. You're kind of this. You kind of feel like you're flamboyant, a little arrogant. I've had the same thing, but it's not that. It's confidence. Because if you're relevant and you stay in your lane and you know what you're talking about, it's not cockiness. Those people that tell, so this is for you guys. I just want to tell you this. If anybody on your timeline doesn't like your videos and they feel you're cocky, they're never going to send you a referral. They're never going to buy and sell a home with you. But they're called, what they like to start with an H and end with an R. It's called your hater. And I got plenty of them. We all have plenty of them. And I think that if you're good at what you do, you should be developing them daily, because it's going to resonate to build you. Because there's probably people in the industry that are haters on you, but you're living your own
somebody
life.
told me the other day, it was like a couple weeks ago, they were like, there's people that are your Facebook friends. I'm sure probably doesn't like you, or I know some of them really don't like you.
Right.
I'm like, why? And there's like, because every time they go on your wall, it's like you're somewhere traveling. So, and it's so funny because I had agents that joined us and it was like, oh, were you thinking of going? It's like, I'm going with, Mojica Associates Real Estate. They're like, well, good luck, because she's always gone. And they're just like, honestly, I am available all the time to my agents.
Well, because you can do everything virtually. You can, we have our phones. It's not like back in the day where everything was paper. Nobody gets a newspaper anymore. Like, we're live. I mean, where they say that we're live right now talking to everybody in the coaching program.
Exactly.
And anybody that ever joins, this is going to be in the portal. So it's all about efficiency. And for people that have developed, where, you talk about, the Rodneys of the coaching, where they work 20 hours a week closing those amount of deals.
Yeah.
And people are hating on them. But why are you hating on them? Because you can still do it. You just have to put in the work. So let's say there's an agent out there, and if you guys want to drop questions in here, feel free to type them in. We're happy to answer them. But let's say there's an agent in here, and I know there's several of them, and they're struggling. And you were to tell them about daily implementation, what's going to get them over the hurdle of moving on to the next project, doing videos, maybe doing an open house. Like I'm struggling right now. Hey, Michelle, I'm really scared about doing my first open house. What vote of confidence would you tell them to get them to basically do it?
So I would say first of all, have a big vision of what you want. So when I do my coaching with my agents, I always ask them, okay, I have a goal to have 25 agents closing 4 deals per month. Okay, so we make a list of what are those goals in 4 deals a month, like in our business or in our industry or whatever our market is about $250,000 a year. Okay, so they need to have a set of goals that's going to be able to match that, because to be able to make $250,000 a year and you've never made that, first of all, and you don't have the big goals to reach that, it's not going to happen. So you got to have that big, what they call a big audacious goal, right? That really, really scares you to make you want to do those things. So I always tell my agents, hey, if you are scared to do this video, Facebook Live, right? For whatever, do a post asking people for business. And I don't ask people for business. I do it in a subtle way to where they.
Right. Well, you understand your audience.
Yes. So every interaction, I always tell, real estate is a contact sport. Okay, I go to the office maybe once or twice a week for a couple hours, if I have a meeting or something. Right. But aside from that, I'm not going to be able to sell John a house if he's a realtor, right? And everything is a contact sport. So you got to go out there. And if you're scared of rejection, you got to understand, on average, you're going to make $6,000 for that phone call, for that text, for that video, for that interaction. $6,000 for possibly a 10-minute effort. And if that is not worth it to you, then it's not gonna motivate you to do anything else. But in reality, between $6,000 to $10,000, you're gonna get paid to make that one video.
It's just crazy.
It's crazy. And I feel, and if you're scared to do that, it's crazy that people think they're just gonna, I'm disappointed because my family's not using me. Half the time your family don't even know you're a realtor.
And now let's talk about that, because I did a training at your office a couple weeks ago, right? Mm-hmm. And you had brought up that there was an agent that was really good friends with somebody, but yet they called you.
Yes.
You're laughing about that.
I was doing a video. I was doing a video, and I'm like, wait.
Let's touch on video. So video is the gateway to everything, right? You can't just post crap and expect people to know it. It's like, this is the segue of vulnerability, and that's why they're buying you. And so. Talk about the conversation, because a guy or gal or whatever.
So they just messaged me. It's like, hey, I own a business. I don't know if I can qualify for a house. And I'm like, wait, I think this person knows somebody that I know or is a realtor. And you don't understand. I always tell them, you got to get it to closing, especially when you're new. Make sure you have somebody that's going to mentor you, because this is one thing I've realized, especially I love working with brand new agents because they don't have old habits and they never know what to say. So I can help them and guide them in what to say. So what I see as somebody that's been in sales since 24 years, I'm 40, when I started
You're 29 again?
I'm 29 again.
29 again.
So
She started when she was 5.
I've been in sales. I've been in a commission structured industry for the past 24 years, right? So for me, one text leads to a sale. As for you, as a brand new person getting into sales, could be like, oh, this text is just a question. I look at that as this text is worth $10,000, right? So you got to think of it as a salesperson, as an entrepreneur, to where there's a meaning behind a question. It's not just, oh, I want to buy a house. Okay, let's lead you to actually buying a house instead of answering that question to buying a house, right?
Well, and everybody's going digital now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, the farming, you know, it's great if you're still farming, but you don't farm right, you know, and we can't rest on, you know, because I've been in the industry, I've been around it my whole life. And back in the day, you know, you could send the birthday cards, you could do, you know, some stuff. But if somebody's going to touch, well, you're touching other people's clients 365 days a year versus their 18 touches they give them, and you're top of mind and you're vulnerable because through a card or whatever, they can't see the vulnerability or, you know, what you've done in your life. I mean, don't you think like that's the thing that they're missing right now is that they've got to implement like daily routines and stuff like that and figure it out.
Yes, but figure out what works for you. I mean, I get it. There's people who's gotten success out of whatever it is that they're doing. But what I have found is, what do I love the most about what I do? And another thing is, why am I in this business? I'm having that clarity of really, I'm in this business to have freedom, right? Most brokers, designated brokers, when I opened my brokerage and I became a designated broker, most people are just like, oh, you love to travel. You're not going to get that. You're not going to have that life. Opening a brokerage, like what you said, you like herding cats. And I don't look at it that way at all. I look at it as like, I have so much freedom because I have 58, 59 agents that I love so much, that I love working with, to where I never, ever have to worry about if my deals are going to fall apart because I have no support. I have a big, big team. I don't have like a buyer's agent, a listing agent, all that stuff, but we're there to be able to support each other. But that's my vision. Okay. For those that can share that vision with me, I can help you. But at the end of the day, if that's my vision and you're not in alignment with that, you got to find those people. Like when you say copy somebody, find those that have the same vision as you. You're in alignment with their family values. Like, you know, I work until 10 o'clock at night if I'm texting or I'm calling somebody or responding to emails, but I pick up my kids every day at 3:40 when they get out of school.
Well, okay. Yeah. Now that's important. I think a lot of people, and I know a lot of people can relate, and I've been there until I got my coaching, but that's putting yourself first.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of people that let the calendar run them. And so you just tell your clients, look, I can get you after, I can get you to before, or we can go to lunch. You know, it's crazy. And it's an off, obviously not in our industry, but I had a good friend of mine and I gave him a coaching call. And I said, why did your relationship fail? And he said, well, because I had to work late, because I have clients, picking up cars or anything like that. And I said, okay, but if you give them a 9-hour window and they can't come between that 9 hours, that's on them.
Yeah.
I mean, so you guys that are out there in the real estate industry, if you're not clear expectations of where you're going to be within your clientele of, hey, like, I'm not going to be available during this time. These are the times that I'm available for you to see homes. If they're wanting to see it bad enough, and I think that actually would close them quicker, then that's when you're going to have them there, But we are such in a day and age where it's so convenient that, oh my gosh, I can make this post whenever I want. Why? Because I have my phone with me every day. And, oh, I can do this and I can do, oh, I'm going to go sit in an open house, but nobody's going to come because I didn't advertise it. It's once I think you put yourself first where you do, it's the traveling, it's your family, it's your kids, which those are the most important things. I think once you get those as the priority, the business just flows.
And that's one thing that I have definitely noticed, where it's like having my vision of what I want for my life. And then my priorities are really my kids, right? And everyone that interviews with me, I know when there's a 3-day weekend. I know when there's a holiday coming up. I know when they get out of school. I know when summer ends. I know when summer, starts.
Right.
And I explain to them, 4-day weekend, I'm probably not gonna be here on a Monday. I leave on a Friday. Spring break, fall break. I know my kids' schedule. That's my priority. And that's one thing where, success without having your family, that's one of the biggest things is like my husband's one of my biggest supporter, and making sure that we are there for our kids every day, unless if we're not there traveling, but knowing that that's what we want. And I explain that to the agents where it's like, okay, my priorities are number one, my family, traveling with my family, being there for my family. Number two are the agents. So I meet with them every Tuesday. We do a mastermind every Tuesday at our central office, and then every Thursday now in Goodyear. So I know that's the schedule that I have.
Right.
And then third are my clients. I fit my clients within those schedules. So obviously, if you have that consistency within your schedule, you already know it's not like, oh, I can't make it to this because I have a client. My client knows, I let them know, okay, you want to go. And I do my own personal production, you guys. We closed just a little bit over 11 million.
A million? See, man, we're going to have to ask you to leave.
11 million last year, but I don't, I do my own personal production. I didn't have to sacrifice not being there for my kids.
So 11 million.
Yes.
So talk about that. Because I think people do have the struggle with, okay, I got to get to this numbers, but you're talking about the balance.
Once I stop focusing on that number, because my goal is always at least $1 million a month, four transactions or $1 million a month. Be gone most of the summer. We were in Hawaii 4 times last year. We were in Newport Coast 4 or 5 times, San Diego 6, 7 times last year. And that was always the goal. The goal is to travel. I can't travel if I don't have any money. Okay. So, but for me is having that vision of I'm going to travel. I'm going to go to Cancun. I met a $680,000 client, right? So having that vision to be able to do that and still close deals and help agents close deals, that's the big vision that I have. So, I mean, I would say focus on you first and how you want the life that you want out of this business. I feel a lot of times people focus on the money, not necessarily what the money can do for them.
Well, the money's not going to come if you don't build yourself. I mean, that's one of the, when I, with the coaches and I've told them a million times and I say, look, these goals are great, but if you don't put yourself first and fix you, the business is never going to reciprocate. And now look at you, you're doing what you love to do. But one of the things that my coach and I know I've kind of picked this up from you, tell people no. Hey, you know what? I can't meet with you. And you know what? I think they find a better respect for you and to understand that I'm kind of going into their space and their time, even though they're hiring me for something. It's, it's the respectfulness of that you've created but I think you do a good job of systems that you've built out too. So why don't you tell them maybe a little bit of systems you do, let's say we bring in a buyer, we bring in a seller, I know you're big on video, so they already know what you're doing. They already know the value that you're going to do. And that's why I say video's already kind of, stop that. But let's talk, what do you do if I'm a buyer? How do you walk them through?
So partnerships are always so obviously I went with, what is my biggest goal in this business? To have the freedom to be able to do what I love to do, which is to travel. Leveraging and really valuing the partnerships that you have and people that you trust, like your lenders, your inspectors, your title company. So let's just say you're a buyer. The first thing is, I'm not an expert in everything. I feel a lot of agents feel like they have to be an expert in everything. And that's how you put yourself as a liability to your brokerage, actually, because you want to feel like you can advise your client on everything. So if you're a buyer, who's the expert in that? Which is, I have a great relationship with my lender, right? They handle everything. I trust them. They give me that peace of mind. I don't have to worry about, is my client going to cancel because my lender missed something 2 days before close of escrow? So first process is I explain to you what the process is. Are you buying cash? Okay, cash, perfect. We don't need to go through the pre-qualification process. Are you financing? All right, perfect. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you connected with my preferred lender, and I pass it on. And my lender communicates with me, and they give them to me right when they're ready. And also listening to your clients, knowing what your needs are, your wants are, and also being able to provide my expertise. Because I feel like some agents, they show 20 houses, 12 houses. I think there was a statistic to where most agents show between 15 to 20 houses.
No.
That means that you're allowing your client to be in control of the situation. I show maybe if I know my client well enough and I listen for in between the lines and I know my expertise and what I can provide, at the very most, I will be able to show them 1 to 3 houses, 5 at the very most, and we get under contract.
Well, okay,
Yes.
So touch on that. Why do you feel, so the normal mode is 20. So let me take a step back.
Yes.
First thing, you guys are paying attention. I was in the title industry, and you guys will go to any shiny tool that's out there that you think that's going to make your business easier. You are the only person that is going to make your business easier. So quit jumping train from one lender to one title company
Yes.
to one home inspector. Because if you picked up what she said, she's able to travel. She did $11 million in production because she wasn't like, oh, squirrel, I'm going to go to this class and now I'm going to use you because of this.
Yeah.
You have to align yourself with partnerships and lay out clear expectations. Like, this is what I want, and if you can't get, that's totally fine. I'm just going to find somebody that works with me because these are my goals. And if you align with my goals, what it did for you is it made your life easier. You don't worry about like, okay, I'm passing this off. Now I'm totally scared. So
no, and you have to build those relationships, and especially when you're new, because it's kind of like, you're a new agent these agents, or it's like, what about this person, that person, and
well, make sure they build you. Okay. Make sure that when you are able, you don't want to call them and they're going to be yes people. You want them to be able to, like, if we can have a conversation, like if you called me, I could help you through some stuff. And that's the value that is lost in our industry, where we've got to, align yourself. Because like you're saying, you guys want to travel, you want to be with your kids, you want to be able to pick them up every day. Focus on what Michelle did, was building the correct partnerships, which is the huge part of our business, to streamline everything. So once it's handed off over here, she's like, I don't worry about it anymore.
No.
Where I feel a lot of the people complaining and, oh, I did this, is, well, this lender had this, or this lender had that, or this title company gave me this, or this person did. It's not about what you get for free. Are you willing to lose the deal over it, is the question.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're making the income because of those partnerships, like, you shouldn't really even have to ask your title company to pay for stuff, right? Or help you, because they can't pay for stuff,
right?
Or help your lenders. But it's a two-way street. It's not just take. It's really just being able to work. I mean, we work so hard to be able to make a client, buying a house or selling a house or whatever else. It's your business. You shouldn't have to depend on other people to be able to fund it and give you stuff for free for you to be able to function. At the end of the day, it's really, you go with my lender and setting those expectations. Like what you said, your client should never have to say what's next, right? So for me, it's like, okay, next is inspections. Next is we'll send a runner over there to pick up your earnest money. We have 10 days to do this inspection. We need to get this done before this time. Okay, once you have the bins are out, they have 5 days to respond to you. So guess what? My client's not texting me, emailing me, second day, third day, have you heard yet? Have you heard yet? We'll hear back by this Friday. If I don't hear back by then from the seller, I will contact you and I'll let you know where to go from here. It's step by step by step. And providing those clients with those what to expect instead of them.
It's value.
Yeah.
It's not, it's the lost art in our industry, where, even the coaching thing I have 180 training videos to walk you through step by step, because I don't want to have to answer the question again. Like, it should be one and done. It should never be a what ifs. And okay, so let's say there's lots of people viewing. There's people that do anywhere from a couple million to some that do 20 million plus that are in this coaching program that signed up. So it's built for everybody. And aside from that, if you could give them a little bit about balancing your life, because I know that that's just such an important passion of you.
Yes.
How can they start? Because I feel once they balance their life, everything, like we've talked about several times in here, but how can they start? What would be your recommendation to get them to start? And
stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop comparing. And I know Facebook is such like,
oh my God.
It's,
yeah.
I mean, you just sit there and you're just like, oh my God, they're doing so much better than I am. But I mean, and that's what
fake. A lot of it's fake.
And yes, it's very fake. And that's the reason why I stopped going to real estate conferences, because so many things come out.
ROI. I mean, there's people spending $20,000, $40,000, $50,000 on leads, closing 20 million. Well, what's their ROI?
Yes. But I feel that if you are in this to be a good mom, to be there for, muffins with moms, right? And stop comparing yourself to this single lady that's killing it, making 15 million or closing 15 million deals a year with no kids that just got divorced. And it's because honestly, focus on what's important to you. Once I started to do that, like I stopped.
Now, how did you do that? Did you write it down? Did you?
I always write things down.
Okay.
Yes. So write down.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest believer on writing down your goals
Okay.
because I have this big folder.
Now, daily, weekly, monthly, how did you do it?
And
how did you separate the business and the personal?
Well, it's all together.
Okay.
I have all my business goals, personal goals.
Okay.
It's all in. I just keep writing
one spot,
down.
But they're obviously two separate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So quarterly, I do. I mean, I love meeting with my team because it also keeps me accountable. So if you don't have a mastermind, join one. If not, create one of your own. I write them down. So this is how we do it. We break it down, your 2019 goals. Okay. So it's 52 goals that are on there. So 52 weeks out of the year. So your big goals, where you want to go, how many deals you want to close, the volume, what income and what you're going to do with that income, what you're going to be able, and make sure you put stuff on there of how you're going to give back as well, because that's where fulfillment really comes from, being able to give to others. And 52 big goals. From that 52, then we break it down to weekly. Okay, so you can refer back to it and say, okay, what am I supposed to do every week to get closer to this 52 big goals? So we have a weekly goal, and then we have a daily goal. So we refer back, and it's not that
we have the same coach.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Do we?
It's the same thing.
No, I don't even have a coach right now. I have mentors, in which I'm very blessed because I don't have to pay for them. Yeah, I mean, coaches are very, very expensive. So if you have really, really great friends that are coaches, it's even more amazing because they can and that's where you as a person really comes from, and being genuine and knowing who you want to be in alignment with. You'll find the people, and they were really, when they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will come, right? Or the teacher will appear. And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at in my life. But we break it down to daily goals. So one of the things I started to really dig deeper into that with my agents this year, because it's crazy how they're like, I don't know what to do today. What do you mean? Just open up
we had that topic when we were actually,
just open up your phone and you'll see every realtor on there is doing something today. So if I'm not all about copy what they do, but if you don't know where to start, do what they just did.
But that's writing it down though, too, I feel is a big thing. And I think if you guys really listen, I think most people, when they do these vision boards and they do this stuff, which I told you vision boards are crap. I think I like vision boards, but I like vision throughout my entire house.
Yes.
So I'm reminded. So I'm not just looking at one spot. It's a reminder of everything. But what my thing or my hurdle that I'd overcome is I would set monthly goals, and they would never hit because I gave myself 29 days of an opportunity to make excuses. Yes. And then the 30th day came, or if it's February 28, 29, and then I get to there and I'm like, crap. And what I found for me personally, and I know you and I are kind of on the same lines, is that it was because I kept telling everybody yes, and I never put myself first. And when I started writing my stuff down, that's when I became successful. It wasn't because I hired a coach. It wasn't because this. It's because I put myself first. And what I realized is me writing myself down, I was able to wake up every morning fresh, knowing I got to do this, then I got to do this, then I got to do this.
Yes.
And then those are done. And then then you get time back to where you're traveling, you're doing your stuff, and you love it.
Yeah, and there's always, I feel like most people feel that, and I get it. You could say no, right? Say no to things you're not in alignment with. Okay. Right. But say yes to those things that make you really feel come alive, and say yes to those things to what's really, really important to you. And there's going to be things that's scary, like speaking in front of people, doing a video for that matter, putting your life out there. But once you start realizing when you truly live the way you feel like what you were created to be, it's because you're supposed to inspire other people to do the same thing. And what I have found is once you do that, and once you're in alignment with yourself, is that all these people will actually share your vision. Like what they say is like, not every client's going to be your client.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just not. And unfortunately, family members and friends are going to be like your worst clients ever because they know you so well, right? And they know.
Oh, they're going to nitpick you like crazy.
Yeah, and then they feel like they know more than you, even though they're not in the business. But at the end of the day, yes, saying no to things that you're not in alignment with, but saying yes to more of those things that really that you do believe in. And And what I have noticed is writing down those 52 goals. And, I know you're not a believer, or you like.
I'm not I like a big vision board.
A big vision board. It's like everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm more of, I believe I can do it all. I feel that some people, when we opened up the brokerage, I was in it more because I wanted to feel fulfilled.
Right.
And coaching to me felt fulfilling. However, coaching does take a lot of time. So when I was coaching my agents, it took a lot away. And I'm a producer. So one of my coaches said, you're going to have to go back to producing because you're broke. So now you're broke because you're a producer. You're not a coach.
Right.
But I'm like, you're going to want to take something away from me that feels so good, that feels fulfilled.
So balance it.
It's so balanced. So he told me do one or the other. And I was like, no, I know I can do both. And that's when I decided that I can do both. I feel like so many people say it's one or the other.
Right. And it's not.
And once I said, I will travel, I will coach, I will do my own personal production, I will still take care of my family. I said no to cooking every night. But I feel like we try to be this perfect person of who we feel we should be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole other, like as a wife, we have 4 kids, you guys. We have 2 adult kids, they're 21 and 20, and 2 little ones are 12 and 11. And yes, we travel with all of them most of the time. And because older ones have like different responsibilities now. But at the end of the day, these are my priorities. This is what's important to me. And knowing who you are, like I have agents that are, I want to join your team, or I say team because that's our whole brokerage is a team. Because I'm like, why? Because I want to travel as much as you. But at the end of the day, they're very structured and they want, they want to have an office to come into 9 to 5. But since I know who I am and I know what I stand for and I know how I run my business, I just know I can't help them. Right. Knowing those people that you really you can't help. So there's so many options. And that's why I say, I go, you might hit it off with me because I'm great at like talking to people. But at the end of the day, we're probably not gonna be able to work together because you're gonna be like, oh, you're here, you're there, and whatever else. And I get people that are just like, hey, I'm so sorry to, I don't want to bother you on vacation, because they still have that corporate America mentality. And you can't have that in this business. No. Because otherwise, you're going to be stuck in a team. You're going to be stuck as a buyer's agent, always just doing all these things. And what I want to encourage is, if you're in this to really be an entrepreneur, you got to get rid of that 9 to 5 mentality, because you can't get this income and the freedom of an entrepreneur with having the same mentality. And that's what I would say is, you got to change your mindset, and you got to go all the way in, because there's no, if this doesn't work out, I'll go back to 9 to 5, because guess what? That's what you're going to do.
Well, yeah, because you're already checked out. And you have to structure your day for your people, like around them of where they're going to go, like categorize your stuff and build a efficiency. So you leave them with one thing, one big nugget that could just drop it and change it for them. I mean, you dropped so much information, but
let me think about that. Do you have questions? Or
no, nobody's got questions. They're just loving everything you're putting out there. Most of the time we got questions, but I think you're nailing it right on the head. You want to answer some questions, but
what's that one thing?
What's the one thing that you feel can catapult somebody to the next level, or when they wake up tomorrow, believe in themselves, when they look back in that mirror and they're like, you know what? Michelle said this, and if I repeat this for the next 30 days, I will become a better person and better at what I'm wanting to do. You know what?
You had said something like saying no. I would say stop doing those things that you are not in alignment with. So let's just say, like you have that intuition of, I'm sure some of you guys are like watching this right now and being like, okay, I don't believe anything that she's saying right now. So if that's what you're getting, don't call me, don't talk to me, go talk to somebody else that you're just like, I love what I'm hearing from you, because those are the people that you're in alignment with. So that's one thing is, the first 2 years of owning the brokerage, I was listening to people that I wasn't in alignment with. There wasn't any person I said, I want to be just like them, or I admire them for who they are because of the impact that they're making in other people's lives. Since I couldn't find that, 2 years, that's a long time. And I felt like a hypocrite, because here I am leading a team to be successful in real estate, and I'm listening to all these people that are successful in real estate, and I wasn't in alignment with them. So once I stopped that and really started to pursue others or people that are really making an impact, that's when my business grew. And So when you go every day, right, you're going to go to these meetings, you're going to go to real estate conferences, you're going to listen to people, watch videos, listen to podcasts. If you have to make yourself do what they do, like make yourself, and you're hating it, and you know it's just not you, stop doing it.
Right.
I pursue those things that really speaks to your heart. So when we say vision boards, I do vision boards differently. I pick out words that speak to me. And at that time, it probably doesn't make sense, or houses, cars. And this is one of those things where the reason I write things down that's in my heart, and knowing the difference between, do I really want this, or is it more for ego?
Right.
Because people,
that's important.
Yes, it's so important, because a lot of us want things really to be like, I want to be this person, I want this title, and which there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like knowing the difference, like, am I going to want to be affiliated with this person or this business because of ego, or is it really something that I want? And
value.
Yeah. And if it's really providing value to others, or is it just more, because there's a lot of fakeness in our industry where it's like, I'm doing this, but then they really don't tell you what's happening behind closed doors.
Oh, yes.
So if you're not in alignment with it, the people that, yes, numbers are numbers, and numbers does speak volume, but I promise you will get to those numbers and whatever you want if you do it your way and what feels good to you, by affiliating also with those people that you are in alignment with.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to have to do this again, because I'm sure they love seeing you. I think I got like one, hi, John, and the rest are like, Michelle, I love you.
No way.
So yeah, so we're good there. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
We appreciate all of you guys, and have a wonderful day, and align yourself with the right people. Believe in yourself. Quit caring what other people think, and take care of yourself first. Thanks, guys.
See you later. All right.